Hello and welcome everybody. I hope that you're all good and welcome to what is soon going to be part 2 of the Halloween event, bringing in not only shiny Zorua to hunt, but also a bunch of new costume Pokemon, Gengar and Pikachu wearing an orange suit. We've got 2 minutes until the event starts, but we've already picked up a shiny for the day, a wild shiny Slowbro. Now, I've actually never had that before. Thing is that this is a boosted shiny because it's a Mega Pokemon, so I'm inclined to not watch it switch over to something that isn't shiny boosted, because when the ratio changes, it doesn't always switch over. Very cool indeed, and we're going to pop and get a bit of caffeine to start things off. Wild Slowbro of horrendous stats. Shadow Pokemon, brand new ones are coming to a variety of grunts, plus the new team leaders. Key thing to note is that today, the Pokestop leaders from Team Rocket won't have the new Shadow Shiny Mons because the event starts at 10, the Rocket leaders spawn in at 8 AM, so there isn't a switch over for day 1. But we've got the balloons coming every 2 hours, so that'll be something at least to check. But before we do start part 2 of the Halloween event, I want to show, I was doing a random raid. Thank you very much to Surging1, one of the OG long-time supporters, who sent me a random Graveyard raid. And we picked up the Hundo. We've got the Hundo Graveyard in the storage now, so thank you very much, Surging. And it's been a long time since being able to name a 100%er after somebody who's invited me to a remote raid. So it is now, as you can see, the buddy. We're going to work on getting that to best buddy, and 10 AM is here. New timed research, which is brilliant. We've also got Ticket of Treats Part 4. There is our brand new Pikachu, not shiny, on check number 1, but we will golden razz it. I love the orange suit. I think it's a really nice costume. I would love to get the shiny of that. Zorua is a serious hunt, and we know that Graveyard doesn't spawn in the wild, so if we find a wild Graveyard, it is a Zorua. I'm hoping to see boosted spawns of that, but there is a brand new Pikachu costume. Pumpkaboo is back in the wild with its costume as well. If we can pick up the XXL costume of that, that'd be brilliant. And Professor Willow's going to talk some rubbish to us. But the key thing is coffee. Ooh, giant one. So it looks like Pumpkaboo's going to be kind of everywhere. And Phantump as well. Still in quests, should be in the wild, and it's a 1-star raid. So let me know in the comments below if you're excited for part 2 of this Halloween event. Have you picked up anything on day 1? New Shadow Wave will be showcasing everything today. And of course, smash that like button and do subscribe if you are new for more Pokemon Go content coming out daily on the channel. Or we've just picked up our coffee, and as you can see right there, not the Yamask that's been incensed in, but Graveyard in the wild can only mean one thing. This is our first shiny Zorua check. So what we will do is pineapple, because we have a Hundo from this time last year that needs maxing to level 50. We need the XL candy as best we can. Let's see, shiny Zorua, it turns blue rather than red. Come on, if we get 1 check and done. No, it's not shiny, unfortunately, but that is the chase. Dead stats. Defeated into the ground. This is lining up to be either Drilbur or I suspect Rhyhorn. So this could be a brand new Shadow. It is Shadow Drilbur. Let's go. Now this is going to be one of the sickest new Shadows that you can pick up. I want to see if we can get a good stat one. 1-2 chase in the next sort of 3-4 months, because these Team Rocket waves come every sort of season. There's Rhyhorn. Okay, Rhyhorn's the second mon, so you've got potential of getting either one. I have to debate whether I'm going to get Shadow Regigigas from Giovanni, because to be honest, Shadow Regigigas, it'd be good for the decks, but I'm not overly concerned about picking it up. Oh, we got Shadow Rhyhorn instead. Not Shadow Drilbur, but Rhyhorn and Rhyperior Shadow. Set to be, I'd say, an insanely useful raid attacker, so another one to chase. This wave of new Shadow Mons are insane, and also the Shadow Shinies, I forgot to mention, are here on the screen for you. Cliff has Shadow Shiny Dratini, Sierra has Shadow Shiny Sableye, Shadow Shiny Bellsprout is available from Arlo, so all solid Shadow Shinies, and this is a dead 1-star Shadow Rhyhorn. Power Pokemon 3 times is a Graveyard task, and Warp 1k is a Yamask, so we're not going to do that one. So you know what, we're going to claim some of this time research. Murkrow, these are probably going to be just heavy event spawns. Check. There's a Phantump that's not shiny and not a Hundo. Check this. Sableye. It's not a Hundo this time. This is another Zorua. 402 for the Graveyard, but let's see what it's going to turn into. Will it be a shiny? If you missed out on shiny Phantump, it seems to be vastly more common in the wild now for this part 2, which is sort of suspected, but is it shiny? Is it shiny? It's not shiny. Ah, that's a shame. 261 is 0-star. No problemo. Now I have to say, we're only 23 minutes in, but I am absolutely loving this part 2. It's such a buzz with all of the costume mons to shiny chase, the new shinies, the old shinies to chase as well, the quests. We've got ourselves a rock grunt here, which, oh, it's a Lowland Geodude. Well, that's disappointing. Right, we finally walked the kilometre with a buddy or whatever, and it's a costume Pikachu, which is unfortunately a 96, not 100%er. Research Pikachu, of course, is 402. Yeah, 96, but it's a decent 96. This is the costume Gengar, but unfortunately not a shiny, unlike Cicatrix. Patreon squad member, also Twitch streamer. Saw that in the chat this morning. Congrats on getting the costume shiny Gengar from This Time Research. No! This is the rock-type grunt. It was craniados. Let's see. There's the new shadow. Fantastic. 379, I think, is probably likely to be terrible. Gonna be an insane DPS raid attacker for rock types, but it will be incredibly weak. Just bear that in mind. It will take 1 charge damage from the raid boss and be done. So it's, yeah, 1 star and dead. This should be Greavard. I don't know what the hundo from Quest is. Actually, I just remembered I saved an infographic from LeakDuck, so there you go. You're looking for 435 for Greavard, and those are the other research tasks. A tiny one, that's the wrong thing for the showcase, and 419 sadly is dead. Galarian Mask is not shiny. You need to have green eyes, I think, and 393 is awful. We've just discovered our very first Shadow Litwick grunt, which is actually a fire grunt, so bear that in mind. Ghost is going to have Ghastly, Fire is where you're going to find the brand new Litwick, but it is also available in 1-star Shadow Rays, which you should have a few of them hatching around at the moment, so really nice to see that mon coming in. That gives Chandelure the nice Shadow boost. Let's see. It's a dead 0-star, but that looks very cool, I think. Good amount of Zorua. Zorua seems to be boosted, so Halloween-timed research, page 2. It's going to be Mischievous. Come on. Phantump, not a shiny, and 30 CP away from that good old 100%er. This encounter is the costume Gengar. 1207 is exactly the same as the last one. Penultimate check of the Halloween timed research is the Noibat. That's had a Com Day and also New York Go Fest. This final encounter, Kaching. Zorua from research. Okay, that is very cool indeed. If you can get the shiny Zorua from the research, the timed research, big congrats to you, because that's insane. That's the only time you find a Zorua through research. It's dead. Now, 12 o'clock not only brings some rainy boosts to give us extra Pikachu, but a new balloon. And because I finally turned on my rocket radar, it's Cliff, who has Shadow Shiny Potential Dratini. Okay, we're just going to run with this, because I know that we need to burn the shields on him, but I don't know his 2nd and 3rd mons. They should be roughly the same. So Shadow Dratini, the pink noodle, can be Shadow Shiny, which Shadow Shiny Dragonite is one of the best you can get. Oh, it's delayed. Oh dear. Okay, 2nd shield burned. Let's stock up some energy, and then switch to Mewtwo. It may not be super effective, but at least we can hold through. It is a Shadow 96 Mewtwo from the raid day a couple of months ago. Last month, of course, it's T-Tar, which is going to rinse the Mewtwo. Now, Lucario go. Lucario, you better hold in there, bro. Fantastic, and that should be enough to take down the T-Tar. Right, first new Shadow Shiny check coming in. This one I'll definitely be chasing them all. It's not Shadow Shiny, but 188 is just horrendous. Awful stats. Oh, Zorua. That's the best thing about having Greavard as your buddy, is that you know it doesn't spawn. So if you see a Greavard on the overworld, it is a Zorua. Or maybe something that doesn't spawn naturally. Come on, not shiny. We need to have the blue instead of the red. Oh, Incense Pikachu is not shiny. Check numero uno. We got all the items. Phantump, not of 100%, not a shiny. There was Stardust and berries in there as well. So another Phantump. Is it going to be another wave of Phantump? Because if so, that's kind of cool. I think it is. Oh, come on, give me a shiny. 3 more encounters. Oh, that's a Mischievous. That's disappointing. Penultimate check of the research is another Mischievous, which we just don't care for because meh. Final one of the Ticket Treats. Not a shiny, unfortunately. Claim 2 super incubators and 2 rare candy and a bit of XP. And I think that is Ticket Treats done for the whole month, so thank you again, Dwayne, for gifting that to me. Hey, look at this super rare spawn for the event. It can appear in the wild, which is something awesome to see. Rare spawn, I think that's a really good touch. People like Gengar. I'm honestly not a massive fan. I've got to be honest. Look at this. It's a Shadow Ghastly raid. Now, we have done quite a few grunts of this already, but it's now Cloudy Boost, which could mean Shadow Hundo. Highly unlikely, given that, as you know, Shadow Raids have a minimum tier stat of 666. Does look very good though. As a Shadow, Ghastly with the giant red eyes looks fantastic. Now that there are so many different Shadow mons, the pool of what appears is incredibly diluted, so actually trying to find the new ones is very difficult. Somewhat of a decent 3-star Shadow, look at that, 12, 15, 14. We finally managed to find a Shadow Litwick at long last, after many Shadow Mischievous and Ghastly. From my experience, I've literally seen that one Shadow Grunt that gave a Litwick, because it's in the Fire Grunt. Every Grunt now has about 4 Pokemon in it, so it's going to be tricky to actually get the one that you want. 538, not a clue if that's going to be good at all, because it can't be Shadow Shiny yet. It'll probably be like 4 years before that's even a thing. I actually am really struggling to find these new Grunts. It's all the regular stuff that's been in the game for donkey's years. So I don't know whether that's just the day one. Kind of a dead 1-star. Okay, viewers, this is a big moment. So, somebody in the group said this is 100% IV Zorua. And of course, as you remember maybe from the last year video or the short that I put up recently, what you do to guarantee the same IV Zorua as everybody else is you have to do a buddy swap trick between 2 buddies, call them Buddy A and Buddy B. And you swap from Buddy A to Buddy B, interact with Buddy B, and then swap back to Buddy A, interact with Buddy A, and then what happens is it doesn't transform, so you don't have the transformation IV range. So this is actually a Shundo Zorua check, and it isn't shiny. And now, you can choose whether you want to have the mystery of the buddy transformation, or if you do the swap glitch to make it appear on the overworld like that. 100% IV. This should be my second, I think, because I got one last year, my first ever. If you want to have it as a regular shiny transformation with a sparkles and everything, this should be a hundo. Lovely. So we've had a hundo for today. Shout out to the local crew. Some of the local squad are doing this buddy trick, and what you can do is after about 15-20 minutes it resets, you just swap the buddies again, and it should then appear as Zorua on the map. I'm hoping that we can do a few more of those, maybe for the 24-hour challenge in 2 days. Vulpix, because it's featured as a costume mon during this event, can become a costume Shadow, which isn't the worst thing to hunt in the world if you can get a hundo of it. That'd be very rare indeed. First day of the event, it's actually working. And on the note of Fox Pokemon, we got our first shiny of the event on the way back in the car. A wild shiny Fennekin, which I believe is my first one since the community day back in May. Fantastic. It did break out in an attempt to run away because we were driving, but picked it up. That's the first shiny of this event, which isn't too bad at all. I'll take it. Shame it isn't the Zorua, the wrong Fox Pokemon, I would say. This Shadow is a 0-star, but it's a costume Shadow, which is very cool indeed. I did my buddy swap again, and there's 2 Zorua there. It's not shiny on number 1. Somebody reminded me. You can obviously only swap your buddy 20 times a day, so it's probably a good idea to limit when you do the buddy swap. You can't just keep swapping the buddies constantly because you'll actually max out eventually. 96 Zorua, that's pretty cool. There's 3 of them here. Not shiny on that one, let's check it. 4XL for it, and that's dead stats. What about this one outside the park? It's not shiny. I would love to see it sparkle like that and sparkle with the transformation animation. I'm not really sure which one will be best. Ooh, 3 o'clock. So, it's Arlo. That's Bellsprout. Bellsprout is obviously going to be weak to fire. Let's see what the other lineup is going to be. I could check an infographic, but going into it blind is somewhat entertaining until you die. There's Shadow Bellsprout. Not the first time we've seen it, because it used to be the decoy grunts. Guaranteed mon. Every time you were searching for Giovanni and you found a decoy, it was going to be Shadow Bellsprout, then Shadow Raticate. That's both shields out of the way. Now we can just see what Magma Storm will actually do to Miss Magius as a Shadow. Boom. Does some damage. This should KO Skizor in the bin. This will be a very cool Shadow Shiny. Anybody who's in the PvP scene, you can use Shadow Victory Bell. I don't know how current that is, to be honest. I'm just going off of my memory bank. Are we going to get a Shadow Shiny? Boom. No. Not a Shadow Shiny, and 208. It's not boosted. Time to check those stats. Boom. Actually PvP somewhat. What's actually a joy is to see that Shadow Gibble has not disappeared. Just pick one up, so we're going to see what the IVs of that are gonna be. Still chasing one that's better than the 84%er from several weeks and months ago, and 229 only ran down here for some Pikachus. 1 star, no, it could be a lot worse. Fennekin, if the night's starting to draw in, I'm going to call this day to an end, and tomorrow, come back to the channel if you are new. Please do so, because we're going to be doing our very first full-on Team Rocket Leader Shadow Shiny hunt. Let's total up and see where we ended up. So, I know we got the Hundo Zorua, but I've been catching all of the costume mons and stuff off Incense, and we've had a couple of hundos. So the Pumpkaboo that's the XS, so the small one. I don't think I had that hundo before, actually, so nice. Pretty sure that's a brand new 100%er, and a random hundo Sableye, apparently, which is not a bad thing. Shame it wasn't a shiny. I don't know where I picked that up from. Must have been off of Incense or something like that. Get a hundo Skidoo from Marta, which was fantastic. So that's a new hundo for me. Very pleased to pick that up from a random trade. And again, Surging, thank you so much for the hundo Greavard. Genuinely, thank you so much. Fantastic new mon. We'll be best buddied. Now, I usually forget to do this at the end of the video, but I've got to check for Nundos. We actually have a couple of contenders. Look at this. So contender for Nundo, that is a Nundo Pumpkaboo. Okay, sick. We actually have a Nundo Pumpkaboo. It's the XL, so not the massive one, which is a bit of a shame. Maybe a random Incense or Lured-in spawn. That's not a Nundo. That's not a Nundo Vulpix. That would have been cool. That is a Nundo Mischievous. Okay, must have been an Incense thingy. Not going to be usually catching Mischievous, but we'll give it a tag nonetheless. It must have been Nundo Mischievous Day. What? We've had the Nundo family completed. 3 Nundos. And of course, shiny-wise, Slowbro randomly to begin the day, and a random Wild Fennekin. Before we go anywhere, I did do a shiny swap. I gave Marta a broken-hearted Spinder in trade for a second shiny Phantom, which we've now evolved to Trevenant. So we've got the shiny family completed. Doesn't mean we're going to stop checking Phantom for shinies though. So with all of that done, I'm going to say, if you haven't done so already, please do smash that like button and subscribe. If you are new, I would hugely appreciate your support. We are rocking and rolling towards the goal of 20,000 subscribers before 2023 is done. Thank you so much, everybody who's new to the channel, who's been helping support it. Much appreciation, and a special thank you to everybody who is a fantastic Patreon member of mine, whom without I would not be able to bring you the content, the travel, the content that comes with that, and all of the live streams, etc. from the Pokemon UK channel. So thank you so much, everybody who's on the rolling credits at the end of every one of all of my videos. Thank you so much. And before I go, I have got it online. Go and check out the merch links, both of which are in the description for the US Oceania store and the UK European store. This new design, the ghost-themed purple logo for Halloween of 2023, is finally available in a limited run thing. It will disappear in about a week and a half. Get it while you can. I absolutely love the design. Big up to the Italian tripod for making such a fantastic design. As I said, tomorrow, Shadow Shiny Rocket Grind, and then Saturday, tune into my socials. I'd say follow me on Instagram is the best place. On X would do just fine. The links are all in the description of this video. Follow me there because you'll be able to get live updates from the 24-hour grind that we're going to be doing from 10 AM on the 28th Saturday until 10 AM on the 29th Sunday. We're going to be Shadow Shiny chasing in the wild, costume shinies, raids. There's so much to do in this event. It's unreal. So I cannot wait for that. And also, the clocks technically go back to winter time on that night. So it's actually going to be a 25-hour grind. So do stick around on the channel for that. And of course, we're going to be grinding this event until it closes on the October 31st. But until the next time, I will say, do take care.